Welcome. I am here today with Beth Lorio, who created the gorgeous and whimsical illustrations that exist at the heart of the Dreamfruit story for 2024. And for those who've been paying attention, also for the story of 2023. But we are today talking about the Dreamfruit Lunar Almanac for Earthlings, which is an eco-punk guide through the dreamscape of 2024, made much better and much more delightful by virtue of these illustrations. So anyway, this
Oh,
is our little chat.
thank you. That's lovely. I'm happy to be here. So the illustrations that I've done are based on something called the Sabian Symbols. So each illustration is an image that goes with a Sabian symbol. And I had never heard of Sabian symbols until you introduced them to me. So I wonder if you would say some things about what are the Sabian symbols and where did they come from, maybe?
A thumbnail sketch of
Yeah.
what are Sabian symbols. They are sort of filed under the category of degree symbols, astrological degree symbols. And there are many different varieties of these symbols that have been created over eons. And the Sabian symbols are about 100 years old. And I have found that they are very precise and consistently intelligent. So there is this beautiful sacred circle of 360 degrees that is the world. And for astrologers, these 360 degrees are divided into the signs that we're familiar with. And for people who do Sabian symbol astrology or who work with the degree symbols, each of these degree points has an image connected to it.
Okay. Yeah.
And one of the things I want to say is like each of these things, each of these little points in our circle, yeah, it is kind of singing to us. And so that's why I feel like all these different systems have a lot of accuracy and information in them, but the way that our earthling imagination picks up on them is very unique and changes through time and who you are and how you are listening, which actually
Yeah.
leads me to what I wanted to ask you about, which is
Mm.
how you are listening when I send you kind of this
The
very
list of the year. I'm my wonderful list that I love to get. It's so fun. Yeah. So when you send me the list, basically it's just a phrase for every lunation. So for example, one of the lunations this year, the Sabian symbol is a relay race, right? So I sit down and I look at the list and I think, okay, I'm going to work with the relay race today. And I use a technique that I call scribble technique that I learned from your longtime friend and fellow troublemaker, Elise Crone of Juicy Creatives. And basically what you do is I take the phrase relay race and I kind of sit with it and I close my eyes and I get myself centered and breathe a little bit and just sort of let that phrase kind of come in. And then I just make a scribble. I'm doing these drawings digitally and I'm using the Procreate program to do it. So I'm working on an iPad. So I just take my Apple Pencil and I just make a scribble. And then I look at that line or I look at that shape and I find the way into bringing out the image that represents that phrase. And that's really the bare bones of it. The reason why I love this technique so much is because I've been an artist, all my life. I've been drawing for a long time, and I find this a sort of random operations way of coming up with an image to be just this wonderful disruption of my habits. And so it's a very intuitive way into the image. So, you've got the Sabian symbols, which were intuitively channeled or, psychically whatevered, and you've got, all of the sort of intuitive processes that you bring in to creating the narrative of Dreamfruit, and you've got me, doing the same thing in a visual art framework. So it's pretty fun that way.
I feel like that is the underlying hope with anything that exists inside the Dreamfruit world, is that it allows time, space, cosmos, nature to be alive, to be squishy, to blur the edges of what we think we know. And especially right now, where certitude and, kind of digging in can become way habitual. And I love that you said that about, finding ways to bypass your own creative habits,
Yeah.
your own expressive patterns.
Yeah. Benevolent disruptions.
More of those, please.
Yes. Yes.
Oh, thank you,
Awesome.
Beth. I'm so glad we could
Oh,
chat.
thank you, Elizabeth. Absolutely. Always, always, always my pleasure.
Okay, to be continued.
Absolutely. Thank you.